Thank you for listening to this podcast from TRE, Talk Radio Europe, your voice in Spain and around the world. For more information, please visit tre.radio.
TRE in the afternoon. Presented by Hannah Murray.
Good afternoon. You are listening to Men Talk. With me in the studio today is Jeff Miller, Andreas Gallardo and Peter Bennett. Hello.
Hello.
If you are listening at home and you want to get involved, you really can. Here's how.
To contact TRE, please call 952 78 4000. Email studio@tre.radio. Send us a WhatsApp on +34 645 99 67 95.
What a beautiful day, it's a wonderful life.
Now, the expression picky bits, I think, is definitely a UK thing. I've seen various friends of mine in the UK, when it gets a bit warm, posting up photos of their picky bits tea, which is kind of cold things from the fridge generally, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Instead of taking the time to cook a big meal, they'll just have some picky bits, a bit of cheese, pickled onions, all that kind of stuff. Is that something you've heard of? Is that something you do in the States?
Well, not even in the States, but I mean, when it gets hot in Spain, definitely move on to salads and picky bits and things like that. If it's not a barbecue, it's probably picky bits.
Yeah. Is it something
Yeah, of course.
It's too hot to cook it.
Especially on a Sunday evening when you've started from the weekend and everything, you just do picky bits.
Yeah. Would you call it picky bits?
No.
It sounded really cute when you said it then. I was like, I can't imagine you going, should we have some picky bits?
To this lovely picky bits bar in San Pedro.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a good name for a bar.
It is. It really is. So apparently more Mediterranean-style picky bits are more in fashion now, and more traditional, what we may or may not call more English things, aren't used so much. Things like sandwich spread.
Oh,
That's
my
horrible.
God.
Cheap crisps, pickled onions. I mean, I still have pickled. I love pickled onions. Cheddar cheese slices. I mean, come on. Egg mayo. I love egg mayo.
Brilliant. Yeah.
I mean, I take that in. And potato salad, coronation chicken. All these things are like out of favour, but.
Isn't that tapas by any other word?
It could be. Yeah. But the things that they're doing a lot more of in the UK, things like olives, hummus, halloumi, chorizo, Spanish tortilla, serrano ham,
really
tzatziki.
Nice,
so it's all kind of a bit more Mediterranean.
Yeah.
But I like it. Would you plan a picky bits tea? That's my question. Would you go out and buy jamon, cheese, things like that, and think, okay, we'll have this for dinner one night, or would you?
I like that. Yeah, I think that's a really good way to go. You know, it's.
I do.
The supermarkets make it easy here too. You can buy those things.
Yeah. I have to say, my husband last night made what I would call maybe a bit of a picky bits tea. So we had a few bits of gem lettuce with smoked salmon in.
Come on.
Then 2 slices of toast, kind of seeded bread with a bit of camembert on top that he'd kind of roasted and with some herbs, and one of the lettuce leaves had pickles in it, gherkins.
Gorgeous.
So
I'm loving
really
that.
nice.
I'm loving that.
It was lovely.
It's nice to do it gourmet style.
Yeah.
You know, you go to a gourmet shop, you get really nice anchovies and really nice cheeses and that kind of thing.
Nice.
You know. Or special pate, and you make
absolutely
a feature of the whole thing, you know.
As opposed to opening a packet of crisps.
Exactly. And it's nice to do that at Christmas.
Oh yes,
Christmas is a good time.
Like a cheese board, but with the pate and with the pickles and with the fruit, maybe some grapes, and make
one
a big
of the things we had last night, Han, was, and I hold my hands up here because Debbie makes the most fantastic tortilla, but. When we had younger family over last week, and we did a lot of shopping, so we're still eating some of the stuff that's left over from the shopping. One of the things Debbie had bought was the prepared tortilla from Mercadona.
Yeah.
Oh my God, it was belting. It was fantastic.
Oh yeah,
Perfect
the one with
consistency.
onion or without?
With onion.
Yes, I
And-
like the with
It
onion.
was
Yeah.
beautiful.
Yeah, it's nice.
Debbie's is better.
You've opened a can of worms there. With or without onion? Oh, I'm really against the onion side.
you?
I think. Oh, yes.
Are
yes.
you? Okay.
I have big arguments with family members where they like it with onion. I am no onion, so there you go.
Fair enough. Well, yeah, a proper homemade tortilla without onion is gorgeous.
Yes,
I love
absolutely.
that. But the one, I have to say, the ones from that supermarket, the
Oh,
one
sorry.
without
Oh, the supermarkets are
No, it's
available.
fine. The one without onions, do not bother. A total difference.
Right,
A total
okay.
difference. It really quite dry, but with
Really?
onions, yeah.
Oh, I mean, this
Yeah,
was
huge
the
difference.
texture was one of the things that we liked so
Yes,
much.
but no, without onion, for some
beautiful.
reason, the texture isn't the same.
The homemade one, I'll give your listeners, Hannah,
Yeah.
the real trick is
Okay.
to soak the egg for quite a while
Really?
with a potato, yeah. Some people don't leave it. You have to leave it there for a long
Okay.
time until the egg is well soaked.
Yeah.
And then
Before
the
you cook
temperature
it.
of the pan as well.
Yeah.
Depends how you like it. I like it a bit runny inside, then very hot one way, quick the other way, fast, done. And it's still the
Brilliant.
egg
Brilliant.
runny in the middle. Lovely.
Yeah,
nice and
nice.
juicy.
Ooh,
There you go.
Sounds good. You'll have to make some and bring it in for us.
I should have a cookery program. now.
Yeah, definitely. So this is a debate that has gone along since the beginning of time. Well, first of all, how to say the word scone or scone. I think I've said both, to be honest. I don't really think about it.
We have a
much.
difference in our house. One
Do you?
scone, one scone. Yeah.
Okay, and is it a north-south thing, do you think?
I think it could be. It could be in the.
I say it's scone, but I don't count because I'm Spanish.
I'm a
so-
scone.
You
I'm
can
a
have to
scone.
me address.
I think I'd say scone.
No, I'm scone.
Yeah, I'd say scone. Yeah.
Scone.
But I can see why both would work.
Yeah.
It's not really that critical, is it?
No, I think sometimes I just say whatever comes out my mouth. On most things, actually. So the other big debate is how you're supposed to eat it. So there's cream and there's jam, and some people insist that the cream goes first and then jam. Other people say the jam goes first and then cream. And there's a Cornish Devon argument because there's a Cornish cream tea and a Devon cream tea, and they both kind of claim it as their own. The Cornish put the jam first. If you're from Devon, you put the cream first. And interestingly, the Queen used to put the cream on first.
Oh.
Okay, it's got to be Cornish all the way. We were talking in the lobby about this. How do you spread jam on cream?
I do that.
Unless it's
I'm 100% cream first.
really
Yeah, because
Don't
cream,
understand.
I see it as cream as the representative of butter. So I put the cream on first as if it's
Okay,
butter.
yeah.
And then I don't need to spread the jam on top. You just get a small spoon and plop a little bit of jam on top.
There's
it doesn't need to be
dolloping
spread.
involved,
Yeah,
no, I
dollop.
like this. Take it right
Yeah.
to the edges. The
Yeah?
jam. Yeah. Cornish all the way. Yeah.
Interesting. But I've no idea where that comes. I don't remember
No.
being taught this is how you're supposed to do it.
No.
I just remember looking at the cream and thinking it's kind of like butter.
Yeah.
So I'd put that on first, really.
I changed my way. I used to do it your way. Yeah.
Okay.
But then I read somewhere that the royal family recommended it the other way round, so I started doing it the other way round. And somehow, and I think it's psychological, I thought it tasted better.
You look more
when
regal.
in reality, it probably tastes the same.
Yeah, well,
so it doesn't really matter.
No,
but
it's
somehow
funny.
say, oh, the royals do it that way. Oh, I'll do it that way. That's lovely.
Is that the proper way? Yeah.
Yeah, well, no, apparently. So the Prince of Wales was asked about this recently on a radio interview, how he did it, and he said, I can only tell you what I learnt from my grandmother, and she definitely had the cream on first and jam on
There
top.
you go.
There we go.
I'm going to go to Picky Bits Tapas Bar in San Pedro tomorrow and test how they do it.
Yeah, exactly.
Copy them.
This is talking about when it comes to menu choices, it can be hard to figure out the recipe for success, whether you stick with your favourite dish that you've had before or go for a daring new option. There's a classic kind of comedy sketch where everyone's out at an Indian restaurant and everyone spends ages looking at the menu and then just goes, chicken tikka masala, please, having the same that they'll always have. Apparently, the mathematical advice, because there is some kind of weird science to it, early on, when you still have many opportunities left, it is worth exploring new dishes because you might discover something even better than the best of those you've tried. But later, as your opportunities dwindle, you should stick with the best dish you've found. So what would you do if you go back to a restaurant that you go to regularly? Do you always have the same, knowing you love it, or do you browse the menu and go, "Oh, let's try this tonight"?
Oh, that's a difficult one. I tend to look at menus and trying to find things that I would not normally have at home. That's the first one.
I agree with you.
The second one, I like to ask the waiter or the maître d' or whoever is, at the restaurant, what do you sell the most?
Okay,
and I
most
normally
popular
ask them.
dish.
Yeah, sometimes they answer, sometimes they just try to flog you whatever they've got rotting in the kitchen. But so with those two parameters, I tried to order and try to be a little bit adventurous, because to do a tortilla, I might as well do it at home.
Yeah,
or
absolutely.
The filetes empanados also, you do that at home. So you're not going to order it in a restaurant. So if you're going to go and spend the money, you might as well spend on something exciting. That has, the danger that you might not choose correctly. And sometimes you think, well, that wasn't a good idea. But 9 times out of 10, it's a good idea and it works, for me anyway.
Are there restaurants that you go back to regularly, though?
Oh, yeah.
That you would have the same...
Oh, no.
No, you would never have the same?
No, I think I'm always looking for something different.
Okay, interesting.
I mean, like if you go to Chiringuito or something like that, I mean, you could easily get the same thing, but it's nice to try different things.
Yeah?
Well, otherwise, what's the point in going to a restaurant? I mean, it's just... There's so many things on offer.
Yeah.
Yeah, like when ordering a paella.
But it's not wanting to be disappointed, I suppose.
Absolutely.
A lot of people are nervous because you're spending the money.
Yeah.
If you order something that you've not tried before and you don't like it, you can easily think, oh, well, that was a waste of money. I should have just ordered the steak because I knew I would have liked that.
Nervous eaters in that sense. Because if you're going out to dinner, you have to be a little bit adventurous.
Yeah.
Because what's the point? Stay at home and make what you always like to eat.
Yeah. Okay.
So for instance, the paella thing.
Yeah.
You can go and order the same paella, sort of shellfish paella, whatever.
Yeah.
But there's so many now that it's nice to be adventurous. You can do a duck paella.
Yeah.
You can do a rabo de toro paella.
Yeah.
You can, all these things. So you can go out for a Sunday paella, which most Spanish people do when they go out, but then be adventurous and try those new things. I mean, the duck paella is fantastic.
Wow.
I've never seen
that.
Duck paella.
No, amazing. No. Why not?
I mean, I have to say, Han, the first thing I'd comment on there would be I don't want to be facing up to the fact that my opportunities may be dwindling. So that's one thing. As far as I'm concerned, I'm going to live forever and be eating great food forever.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, but like you guys, I try and be adventurous, but I think there are some places that we go back to that we always have the same thing.
Yeah.
And we do bother to look at the menu, but then you remember how good it was and you think, oh no, I'm going to have that again.
Yeah. Particularly in an Indian, I think. I think that's when it's easy to do that. I mean, my regular Indian dish has probably changed about 5 times in 20 years, I'd say. So I'll find one that I like and I'll have that every time. And then after however many years, I'll be like, oh, I think I'll try something else. And I try something else and I like it. And I have that every time. I reckon I've gone through about 5 that I've
over 20 years.
Kind of over 20 years. Yeah. I've had
because
regularly.
You could never work your way through an Indian menu in the lifetime.
No, but there could be loads of things that aren't, if you don't like it really spicy, I would never have the fal, or I'd never have the vindaloo or anything like that. So there's ones that I wouldn't kind of go to.
I'd have the mushroom omelette and chips because I don't like curry. There you go. That's just me.
I like what Indres said though, because sometimes restaurants do have specials.
Yeah.
And it's not always trying to push out what's old in the kitchen. Sometimes it's like, that's the thing that's fresh on the day, and that's the thing to have. So that's often, if I do make a switch, it'll be listening to what
the
those
special.
specials.
Yeah, absolutely.
And also depends on the restaurant as well, because if a restaurant specialises, there used to be one very, very nice I used to go to, they used to specialise in suckling pig. Mm-hmm. And you would only go there to have that particular dish because it was like really nice.
Yeah.
So you just go there when you fancy that particular dish, and you go to one restaurant, you always order the same.
Yeah.
But if it's different restaurants and different sort of styles and everything, then is when you're more adventurous.
Sometimes it's interesting. So that I went to a steak restaurant ages ago, and it was obviously really good for steak, and I enjoy a fillet steak. But then I decided to have the Iberian pork one day, which was less than half the price of the fillet steak. And it was absolutely gorgeous. And if I go back, I'd have the pork again. So again, sometimes But yeah, if you go to a restaurant that specialises in something, like if you go to a meat restaurant, sometimes it's really not worth having the fish because they might not do it as well as the meat if that's what they specialise in. You know what I mean?
And Andres, tell me if I'm correct here. Spanish friends of mine have said, I never order the fish on the Monday because it's not fresh, and the fishermen don't go out fishing on the Sunday.
We do have fridges, you know.
I'm not suggesting it's
but it's true. No, this is true. I mean, my mum used to say that. Don't. It's
because I
order.
I know.
No, it's but on the Sunday they don't fish, so you would wait till the Tuesday to go to the fishmongers to buy the fish. But don't worry if you order fish on a on a Monday, you won't. I don't think you'll die.
Notice he said, "I don't think." We better take a break.
Hannah Murray on TRE in the afternoon.
Good afternoon. It's just gone 5:25. You are listening to Men Talk. With me in the studio today is Jeff Miller, Andreas Gallardo and Peter Bennett. And I just wanted to give a shout out to Dave and co, who are in Portugal, staying at Juicy Escape and listening to the show, hoping that Matt was on. But Matt isn't on, but hopefully you're enjoying these three gentlemen. This is an interesting article about happiness and patience. When a flight is delayed or a friend texts to say they're running late, do you keep calm and go with the flow, or does a sense of annoyance begin to wash over you? If it's the former, you just might be one of the fortunate folk to have found the secret to being happy. That's because experts from the University of Oxford have pinpointed patience as a key trait for leading a contented life.
That makes sense.
I find this fascinating.
Yeah.
On the Spanish theme, I'll tell you that there is a saying.
We just wait for Andres to go first.
There is a saying that says, patience is the mother of science.
Wow!
Because scientists have to do so many trials and they have to be patient to get to the end.
Yeah.
So the patience is the mother of science. So the thing is that the younger you are, the more impatient you are, and with age you become more patient. You chill more, and whatever will be kind of attitude.
Yeah.
You gain that with age, and I think that's.
I've noticed that massively for me, definitely, and connecting patience with stress and things like that. I used to get a lot more stressed at work, or things going wrong. If you've got an interview and then they don't answer the phone, I'd be like, like it would really stress me out. And now I'm like, okay, well, I'll just put a song on. You know what I mean? If they're not there, they're not there. There's nothing. So and I'm loving being more patient and less stressed. I'm really aware of it and really kind of pat myself on the back where I'm like, 10 years ago this would have really stressed me out, and now I'm like, okay, well, it is what it is. And it's a great feeling.
We used to work a lot with tourist holiday rentals and stuff, and communication was the key. If they updated you regularly as to where they were, how they were struggling, if they were struggling, and we don't think we'll be there until, it didn't matter. You're fine. You just roll with the punches, don't you?
Yeah.
It's the ones who would be late, not tell you turn up, wait around for them.
Okay.
And this was before the days of WhatsApp and everything else, and it used to really irritate.
Yeah.
And then they turn up 2 hours late and just expect you to be bright as a button.
Waiting for them.
And it wasn't,
it's difficult to be patient
to manage
with that.
people then.
No.
But most of the time, most of the people were lovely, and I think that's probably all you can ask for, isn't it? And if they communicate to you, it's fine.
Yeah, it's difficult to be patient and not stress with rudeness and lateness and I mean, things that are out of your control. In one way, it's easy to go, well, if it's out of my control, there's nothing I can do about it, and it's fine. But if you're sitting in a traffic jam and you're going to an important appointment, whether it's a medical appointment or you're coming on the radio or whatever it might be, something that you feel like you can't be late for, I find that kind of difficult to go, oh, well, never mind. It is what it is, because I'm like, I need to
Tomorrow's another day.
I struggle with those kind of things, even though there's nothing you can do about it, I do sometimes get like, there's traffic.
I remember, sorry, this is not too long a story, but Debbie helped me through this a lot. It was during the 2012 Olympics, and we had some tourists who were arriving. They were staying in Nueva Andalucía, and I had to meet them outside the urbanisation. Anyway, we didn't hear anything from them, so I turned up at the appointed time. Anyway, the story as was retold to me by the guests, who were incredibly late and incredibly het up and incredibly, let's say, angry, I was going to swear them, was that they'd flown into Gibraltar, he'd gone out to pick the car up, but the car was in Spain, so then he had to come back to Gibraltar Airport to pick the family up. Anyway, which took like 2 hours.
Yeah.
Then they got horrendously lost, because this is before Google Maps and all the rest of it. Mo Farah was running that night, and I really wanted to watch it.
Oh.
And the apartment didn't even have UK TV, so I couldn't watch it. Anyway, so they then got lost, ended up in Puerto Banús, went the wrong way down a one-way street. Got fined €200 by the police.
Gosh.
And he was so incensed that he then lost a crown from his teeth.
Oh wow!
Because he was grinding his teeth so much.
Oh goodness!
So they were horrendously late, not apologetic in the slightest.
Yeah.
And they were just awful people. He then phoned the next day, because obviously I gave him fairly short shrift with the meet and greet.
The welcome pack.
Yeah. He phoned the next day and said that the fridge smells of fish. And we said, no, it doesn't. It does not smell of fish. The apartment's been, cleaned to within an inch of its life. And he said, no, it definitely smells of fish. Anyway, we'd had enough of this guy. Debbie said, go and buy a lemon, cut it in half and leave it in the fridge. That was our last interface with him throughout the holiday. God. Honestly, so I probably was stressed to high heaven then, and at the risk of some kind of stroke or heart attack, because I was there for like 4.5 hours waiting for these people.
That's awful.
It was midnight by the time I got home. All the lights were off in the Olympic Stadium.
Mo Farah was at home having a bath.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, how could you not get stressed at that?
I think run the 10,000 metres 3 times in the time it took me to wait there. Honestly.
On the subject of patience, the best advice that I had, that was many years ago, was when I was doing my driving license, and my driving instructor, he said, when you're driving, you have to be patient.
Yes.
And I said, well, I was 18 years old. How can you tell, And he said something stuck with me still to this day. I'm 22. No, he said to me, it's better to lose a minute in life than life in a minute.
I agree.
And when I drive, I always think, I'll be late, but just chill, and that's the best lesson in driving.
What a great expression.
I think traffic is a great sort of analogy for, or has many analogies for patience, because driving in traffic on the coast here, it's bumper to bumper often and things like that. And it's always irritating when people cut into you.
Yeah.
But if you want to be cautious and patient, you leave a little gap. But there's always that joker who's going to just nip in.
Yeah.
And it irritates some people. It irritates my wife. And I just usually say, I just can't give it.
If I'm not in a rush, it doesn't irritate me.
No.
I'm listening to the radio, I'm listening to music, I'm listening to a podcast, and I'm perfectly entertained, and I'm like, well, I'll be there when I'll be there.
Yeah, because you can't control it.
No, exactly.
So they get irritated by it. It's just causing yourself more
definitely.
stress.
I just find that slightly harder if it's an important appointment.
Yes.
If I'm just going home, I'll ring my partner and I go, this traffic's crazy, I'll be there when I be there. But
a friend of mine in England, when he saw a car driving past you very, very fast, he always used to say, I never got that, but I guess, you English people understand better. And he said, oh, look at him, he's got kippers for tea.
Kippers for tea.
And he was going home to have his tea once he had kippers, and every time he used to say, oh, he's got kippers for tea.
Yes,
and that's stuck in my head as well. There you go.
Yes.
Love that.
I remember I used to like to think, because I don't like, some people might not even think about it, but I hate seeing an ambulance with the sirens, it always kind of makes you go, hope it's no one I know and all that kind of stuff. And I remember when I was younger, I didn't used to have that fear. I think only as you get older and you start to lose people, suddenly the reality of the situation kicks in. But when I was younger and the ambulance would go past, I used to laugh to myself. I used to think, I bet he's just trying to get home for tea with his wife. I used to think, if you're in that situation and you just wanted to get home, just stick the sirens on and you can get through the traffic really quickly to get home for tea. Not for kippers necessarily, but anything. This is a really great piece that hit a nerve with me, having done some theatre stuff myself. I love the headline, Do Tell 'em Pike, which obviously comes from Dad's Army. This is the actress Rosamund Pike, who is starring in a West End show, and at the end of the performance, after the curtains closed, she came out again to speak to the audience and basically sort of had a go at someone for texting during the performance. She said, I'm not going to single you out, you know who you are, but when we're on stage really cool. and we're trying to be in the zone, we're aware that this is happening. And I kind of thought, good for her. Some people have been a bit like, oh, who does she think she is? And I'm like, no. You tell him. It's incredibly rude.
Was it after the performance or during the performance?
No. After the performance, she came out.
So she carried on.
She carried on. Yeah. But
I didn't give a knowing look to the guy.
Yeah, she stood there with hands on hips, and she was
incredibly disrespectful, isn't it?
It is.
It's a different thing. But I was watching the French Open tennis a couple of days ago, and there were two incredibly cool people sitting there. They were immaculately dressed, absolutely beautiful, the pair of them. One of them, and they were sitting about 8 or 9 rows back near where the service line was, so you could see them all the time. And it was really getting on my nerves. One of them had their phone in their hand and was texting every time the camera went on, every single time. And the person serving, and you can watch behind, and they're still there. And she did not stop the whole goddamn game.
Why is she there?
I know. What's the point? I mean,
there is an explanation for that, and I'll tell you what it is. All the corporate seats in these big events, they're, especially in tennis, they're all at the bottom, and they're all little boxes, and they're taken by big companies who will use it for PR and everything else.
Right.
So the people who go there, most of the time, if you notice, they're empty seats because they're at the bar.
Yeah, because
and then you think, why are the empty seats? One of such a good match, and you get really annoyed. I could have had that seat.
I was sat there.
And they're at the bar, and the rest of the time when they're there, there's people who've probably been invited by some company like telecom company or whatever, and they're not interested in tennis and just been invited, and they're there, so they're looking at the phone. That really annoys me. I always think, why don't they put the real fans down there and the boxes at the top, so near the bar, so they can't. That makes sense. That would make more sense. And just have them there, So that's. Sorry, what was the subject?
being on phones during a theatre performance.
Well, any performance.
Or any
performance.
Definitely. I mean, the thing with the theatre as opposed to tennis, not that it makes it better or worse, but being in the dark, often the light of the phone, people on stage can see that. So that can be, that's the sort of distracting part. If it wasn't for the light, you wouldn't actually know if you're doing a performance outside and somebody was on their phone, as long as it's not making a noise, you wouldn't necessarily notice it much.
True.
It's the light that you can see.
It makes me think of a similar story that irritates me often. I'd say Glastonbury, say.
Yeah.
You know, the camera cuts to the crowd. And the dozens of people with the cameras in their face, and they're watching the concert through their camera screen. Yeah. It's like, come on, you're in an amazing place, an amazing thing.
That was a question I was going to pose to you. If you go to a concert and you record a video, how many times do you look at that video on your phone? Because I remember doing it the first time I had the opportunity to do a video. The first thing, everyone was doing it, so I thought, I'll do it as well. I've got a camera, I've got a phone. So I recorded like 30 seconds, and still there, I never watched it.
No.
So now I never record anything, because I know I'm not going to watch it.
Yeah. No,
so I'd rather concentrate on the stage.
Exactly.
And another thing I do, I look at the stage, not at the screen.
Yes.
Because if I look at the screen, I think it's like being at home and watching a telly, So I like to look at every, aspect of that and look at the stage. But anyway, that's.
I suppose the thing with the screen, if you're far back, then you can't really see much of the stage. So the screens are really, really helpful. I think if you're even at Starlight, which isn't a massive venue, but if you're at the back, they're just like little pinpricks on the stage. You can't really see as much. So I'm quite thankful for the screens. And you can sometimes get a picture, and you might not even know that it's a picture of the screen because it's nice and big, so it looks like you're up close.
Yeah, it's.
And I'm like,
looks like they paid a lot more than you actually did.
Exactly. We better take a break.
Hannah Murray. TRE in the afternoon.
Good afternoon. You're listening to Men Talk. With me in the studio today is Jeff Miller, Andreas Gallardo and Peter Bennett. From often having to pick up the slack from men, I think that's a bit harsh, but anyway, just reading the article, to being overlooked at work, there is plenty for the fairer sex to be frustrated about. And it seems issues such as these have taken their toll on British women by making them the angriest in Europe. Women in the UK are 47% more likely to feel angry than in the previous year. So it's grown, yeah. The report, which polls more than 76,000 women and girls aged over 15 worldwide, found those in Britain were anything but their reserved and polite stereotype.
I just think they need more patience.
Yes, exactly. Exactly. I don't think I've got... I know I've got more patient as I've got older, so I definitely don't think I've become angrier, because they're sort of opposites in a way.
I can't see that stereotype necessarily, I don't think.
No.
I'm just saying to Peter, I can't think of any examples where I'd say, oh yeah, this, that. It's just not... I don't...
Yeah, I mean, I think maybe with younger people, but as we said, with, experience and age and wisdom and all of that. But if you think of, I don't know, reality TV programs, I guess, when there's younger people, the idea of seeing a snapshot of what the general public might be like, that I suppose some young people could come across as angry and aggressive and that kind of thing, but certainly not all.
Here's a different slant. Maybe they're the hardest working.
Yes. Is that true?
Yeah.
It is true. The perception is that they are quite aggressive and angry, in especially the younger generation.
Yeah.
But we see it here. I mean, you go to Porto Banús at night and you see some behaviours that you think. But I wonder how much that is that they are angry or aggressive because they are, or because they've been drinking too much.
Yeah.
And I think it could be alcohol related, and the behaviour is not so good. It's difficult to generalize, but you do have they give you that kind of perception that they could snap at any time, so you have to tread carefully
with the drinking,
especially with the drinking. If they're drinking, I'd not go anywhere near a British woman. My recommendation. If they're sober, you might.
I thought we'd gone more to just British people, but no, you're specific on the women. Okay, interesting.
Well, that's the article is about women, isn't it? Well, I'm sticking to the subject.
No, well done.
I'm really impressed that Andres still goes to Puerto Banús at night.
Yes, his favourite place. He's lying, he loves it. But yeah, it's true. I think alcohol does have a lot to do with it, and we see it in terms of not just violence, but also people abusing each other on the street.
Yes.
And one of the things I noticed in Spain many, many years ago, and still notice it now, is how I hardly ever see a fight. And if I do, it is likely to be British people. That's the sad reality of the situation. You don't see Spanish blokes fighting in the street in the same way that you might do, not on a regular occurrence necessarily, but it certainly is more prominent and more common in the UK than it is in Spain. And I think that's a fact.
Yeah, I feel it is. I mean, I don't know what I'm basing that on because I haven't lived there for 20 years.
No, true.
But I feel that it is. But I'd love to know... Obviously, be a myriad of reasons, but I'd love to know broadly from these 76,000 women, what is making them so angry? Why are they becoming angrier?
Yeah, not because men aren't doing more.
That could be it. That'd probably be the case in my house, but
yeah, I don't know why that would be.
No. But it's interesting you said the fighting thing. I remember this guy, a friend of mine from Manchester, that came here visiting, and we were to a feria, which is an all-day music, and
fantastic.
There is a lot of drinking there and everything.
Yeah.
And after an hour of being there, the guy turned around to me and said, "This is unbelievable." I said, "Yeah, that's good, isn't it? With the music and all that." He said, "No, all these people in one place, all drinking, there is no one fight."
No.
Yes, absolutely.
This is back home in Manchester.
There's more hugging than fighting.
There would have been so many fights by now, and and It's true, you know.
I think that of the Farrier every year. Every time I go to a Farrier, I think this is amazing.
And you're not expecting to see fighting or violence or anything.
And you don't feel uncomfortable in the... So you don't feel like, there could be some trouble brewing over here in the same way that you might... I don't want to be like bashing the UK. I haven't lived there a long time myself, but I have gone back and visited and have felt like that going to... what's the name of the place in London? I can't remember, but there's a fair, the Winter Wonderland thing.
Yeah,
I've been there a couple of times over the years, which is a lot of young people, but a lot of families as well. So there's a lot of kids there, and you get groups of young lads that are all like, really kind of cheering each other up, and and I remember walking around thinking, God, they should chill out a bit. There's kids, and
do you know what the solution to that problem would be picky bits.
Picky bits and patience.
Picky bits and patience. Yeah, because the picky bit, when you're drinking, if you have picky bits, you're not so affected, so it absorbs the alcohol, so there wouldn't be so many fights. So solution to that, let's all have picky bits.
I think that could be a solution to all the manner of things, actually.
Andres,
bring it back to picky bits.
Allow me to ask, as a national, why is it that something like a Farrier can go on with such in just an explosion of joy rather than and excitement and drinking and family and good spirit?
Family, I'd say.
Yeah,
that would be my outsider's view. Is just more family oriented.
I think that's what it is. Also, there tend to be. Generally, there are small towns. So you don't want to make a fool of yourself in front of all your neighbours because they'll know you. You know. And now there's a lot of tourists and everything is not the same. But in the old days, it used to be the town going out to celebrate certain patron or something. So everybody would know you. If you make a fool of yourself, it's like making a fool of yourself at the office Christmas party. You're going to be living with it. And I think that's got something to do with it. But I may be completely wrong. So
it's really interesting. I find it a model of excellence living in Spain in general. I think the respect that people have, the family values that people have, the
sense of
their attitude, sense of humour, the not worrying about things and
patience.
Patience is
and their picky bits.
And their picky bits
they do have the picky bits right, don't they?
That's what it's about, I'm telling you. Sorry, Peter.
No, it's great. I love it.
All hail Spanish piggy bits. Let's have another break.
Hannah Murray, TRE in the afternoon.
Good afternoon. Welcome to the last part of today's Men Talk with Jeff Miller, Andreas Gallardo and Peter Bennett. Now, this one's probably quite difficult to talk about and imagine and whatever because... just because 4 in 10 singles say heavily filtered or revealing photos on dating apps are off-putting. Britons lose interest due to various red flags on dating profiles. These include grainy or blurry images, heavy use of editing, and being left wondering what the person actually looks like. I mean, that's just crazy, isn't it? I've never been on a dating site because that all happened after I was happily with my partner. So, and that's why I kind of thought all of you might be in a similar sort of boat, so you probably can't relate. But I don't understand why anyone would put filters in a situation like that. I know a friend of mine went out with a guy from a dating site and he said he was a certain height, and then she met him and she was like, he was nowhere near that. He was so much shorter, and it's like, what's the point of lying about that? That's just like a waste of everybody's time. Why would you say I'm 6'4" when you're 5'9", you know?
Yeah, maybe to attract... it's a little bit of marketing, isn't it? You are doing...
it's false marketing.
You're marketing yourself. So, but you see a lot of products that are being sold that they tell you, this is going to be so good and everything. And then you, for your joints, for instance, I took this thing that
you're actually talking about products. Sorry. I thought you were talking about humans being products.
Because I imagine the people who do that in real terms, they are selling themselves,
Yes.
So they say, how can I present myself
in the best
possible way so I get a hit, I get a sale, I get a, like if it was a product. So they present themselves what they think is a good idea. Most of them, I would say 99.9%, are not trained in marketing, so they get it wrong. And then they're just hoping for the best. So my solution to that would be go and do a marketing course and then set up your profile for your dating app. There you go.
But it's interesting talking about products, because you'd think that, I mean, I know brands have to be careful on what they say, but products to do with, you said joints, I was thinking of like beauty products, like, saying it gets rid of wrinkles and stuff like that. Companies need to be really careful, add this whole anti-aging thing, because if a company claims that if you use this cream, your wrinkles will start to go, people are starting to sue companies, because it's like, well, if you've been using this, I don't know how you prove, but if you've been using this product every day for 5 years and your face looks completely the same and you're spending like 50 quid on this cream, then that's out and out lies.
Yes.
And you can't lie and say this product will do this if it doesn't.
Yeah, but marketing tends to lie more than not. I mean, if you look at I was thinking that the teeth, teeth cleaner, whitening, and they show you the teeth and how the thing, breaks up and everything, and then it's absolutely perfect. That's not true.
No,
it's just a toothpaste.
Yeah,
but the way it's presented, and the images that they show and how it cleans, and it's very clever. And then you believe, I thought, I need to buy that product. That's really good for my teeth.
Make my teeth look.
And then you buy it and think, it's toothpaste.
Yeah,
like it always had. So for the dating apps, I guess people are trying to do the same thing.
Yeah.
It's true, isn't it? I mean, perhaps the chap who turned up that was 8 inches shorter than he said he was hoping he could win her over with his marvellous charm and fabulous personality.
He didn't. It was the first and only date.
Oh, no.
No, but I see where you're coming from. They said, if I get to meet her or meet him, look at me and said, it's so...
Maybe I have a chance.
He's so simpatico that I'll just go out, and...
Yeah, that's true, because that could happen.
Yes,
because that's the interesting thing. Yeah. Some people have really quite clear types, and some don't. Everyone always says, it's personality. But that can happen with real estate as well, I'm sure. When people go, I want a 2-bedroom apartment, it needs to have a view, I need to have a palm tree in the garden, and then they end up buying a villa because they walk in and go, I actually love this. Yeah. So it's not what they said they wanted at all.
Oh, you can present something so well, the picture looks so fantastic, and people say, I want to see that, and when they get there, it's nowhere near what it looks in the pictures, and then they get disappointed. But on the other hand, they might think, it's not what it looks in the pictures, but I quite like it.
Yeah.
So it's a marketing thing,
Yeah.
True.
So when you're selling yourself to a dating app, you have to do a little bit of marketing, no?
Yes, that's true.
Fair enough.
That's what I do anyway.
Talking from experience there. We have 4 and a bit minutes talking about university. A third of Britons think going to university is not worth the time and cost, more than double the amount 2 decades ago. Thoughts on university, Peter?
I think in the modern day that's true. I think
it probably is.
Yeah. What's the point of going to university? Because chances are sometimes, if you went in 2 years ago to do an IT degree, and now AI is taking your job over,
that's true.
You've done all that for nothing.
Yeah.
So
there was a piece on TV the other morning about young graduates and how difficult it is for them to get jobs now, or jobs in their.
It's supposed to be easier if you go to university, but it's not now. There's too many.
I think it's changed a lot, and as Jeff says, the AI is the future, whether we
like it or
not.
Unfortunately, in Spain, we suffer from titleitis.
Titleitis.
You have to have some kind of title from university or some master or to be taken seriously for a job.
Okay.
And that is terrible because a lot of talented people cannot access good jobs because they haven't got that particular title. So they do go to university only to get that title. They will allow them to move forward.
Oh, interesting.
So it's not that, and a lot of people get a degree of some kind that they will never use in their working life, but at least they have that which will open the first door. So once you're in, you can progress. But I call it titleitis.
Yeah, I like that. But I mean, it's the issue is if it does get you in the door, then it kind of makes sense to do it. But when it doesn't get you in the door, it feels like it's a waste of time and money.
I think if it's a training, say like you're going to school to be a solicitor, a teacher, a nurse, a doctor,
or there's certain things you
that
have
makes
to.
sense. But if you're doing Elvis studies for a PhD or something like that,
you can
unless
do
you're
all kinds of stuff now.
write a book about it or sell a book. There's no point.
Or sell tickets for Graceland.
Yeah, exactly. I remember, I've told this story before, but I'll never forget it. I remember a girl who I went to school with kept doing further education. I remember I moved to Spain when I was 23, and I think she was studying till she was 26, something like that, maybe even 27. She did sixth form, then she did college, then she did university, then she did postgrad, whatever. But she just kept doing more and more, and I was thinking, wow, I was just imagining what she might be doing with her life and what she could end up, all this education.
Waiting tables.
She ended up working in Blockbuster Video. And I was like, wow, what a waste. Like, what was the point of that?
I think you can get addicted to the lifestyle, that student sort of lifestyle.
Okay,
or like the fact that you have a topic that you're really interested in studying in depth and detail. I think the talk I heard recently is the level of debt, though, that's put on university students.
That's crazy.
You couldn't push that on anybody. And I think in governments past, they did want more people to go to university to improve people's chances in life, but it's moved on since then. And now the debt that kids, if I had 30,000, 40,000 euros of debt starting adulthood, I've just been crippling.
Oh, definitely. And so many people are. I've known loads of people that have been paying off their university fees well into their 30s.
That's crazy.
Not good. Okay, well, thank you all very much for coming on today.
Finish
it
on
was
the
lots
downer.
of fun. Thank you.
We did. Piggy bits and patience.
Have some piggy bits. You'll be fine. Thank you to Jeff. Thank you to Andreas. And thank you to Peter.
Thank you.
Thanks for your patience.
There we go.
You've been listening to a TRE production. If you've enjoyed this program, there'll be another episode waiting for you next week, right here on this platform, where you can also access our extensive back catalogue of shows and interviews. For more information on our live programming, social media channels and apps, and how to contact Talk Radio Europe, please visit tre.radio.